Okay, so I'm not usually one to do these unscripted, off the cuff, I guess, vlogs. It's audio only, but yeah, whatever you would call this. This isn't usually my thing, but something was announced earlier this week that I wanted to get some thoughts out on. Figured this would be better than trying to explain in like 15 tweets in a row the exact same message that just happens to be too long to fit into a tweet. So, earlier this week, on Tuesday, Warner Brothers announced that the live-action Teen Titans series, or Titans, I guess, no teen adjective there, that was in development for TNT about a year or two ago, was still alive. Not quite in the same state, but production was still going. Now, rather than being on network or cable or a pre-established streaming service with an actual user base, Warner Brothers announced that they will be launching a all-new streaming service dedicated exclusively to DC Comics properties, using the Titan series as well as Season 3 of Young Justice as the flagship programs for this new streaming service. I have no problem with the show being streaming only. Chances are it would do really well on a pre-established streaming service that already has a built-in user base. The problem comes in this being a brand new subscription service that they have to somehow convince people to continue paying for even without Titans and Young Justice. Yeah. They'll get people to subscribe just for Titans and Young Justice. But the problem comes when there isn't new Titans or Young Justice content. You know, the off-season, how are they going to keep people renewing that subscription? How do they know people won't just subscribe for Titans or Young Justice, then as soon as that's done, just quit, cancel their subscription, and walk away? There's nothing stopping them from doing that, and chances are Warner Brothers sees that happening, they're gonna cancel the service, and in turn, cancel those shows. And yeah, I'm not very optimistic about this service. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure there will be no issues with it. Actually, I'm sure there will be a few technical issues, because it's a streaming service. Every streaming service has bugs. But I don't see them being able to hold on to subscribers. And then you have to wonder, what are they going to do when the series is one of the most pirated shows of the season? Because, yeah, you put a show exclusively behind a paywall that's probably not even going to be available in many, many regions. Yeah, no, you're going to get a lot of people downloading that shit just because, yeah, you're not going to make any money if you don't give people the option to give you that money. And I guarantee you the service will not be available in multiple European markets as well as Asian markets. And Warner Brothers, of all companies, should know about this. They own Game of Thrones, which is one of the most pretty much the most pirated show ever. And yeah, pretty much exclusively behind a paywall. There. While it's on actual TV, it's a premium subscription. A lot of piracy from that. Yeah. Just, I don't know. It's just, there's a reason I don't do unscripted videos, like, ever. I suppose I could give some details about what I'm talking about, like about the Titan series and the very little information we have right now about this streaming service. So just give me a minute. Pause the recording. Okay, from Deadline. The DC-branded direct-to-consumer digital platform, in the works for the past several months, marks the second major news service launched by Warner Bros. Digital Networks. The division started last year with the mandate of building WB-owned digital and OTT video services, following the recently introduced animation-driven Boomerang. The DC-branded platform is expected to offer more than traditional OTT service. It is designed as an immersive experience with fan interaction and will encompass comics as well as TV series. That one paragraph is the only information in the entire article about this new platform. Literally everything else in the article is either about Titans or about Young Justice. So I may as well go ahead and read off what it has to say about Titans. Titans, written by Akiva Goldsman of Star Trek Discovery and Underground, DC Entertainment President and Chief Creative Officer Jeff Johns and Greg Berlanti, explores one of the most popular comic book teams ever. It follows a group of young, soon-to-be superheroes, recruited from every corner of the DC universe. In the action-adventure series, Dick Grayson emerges from the shadows to become the leader of a fearless band of new heroes that includes Starfire, Raven, and others. Goldsman, Johns, and Berlanti Productions Berlanti and Schechter executive produced Titans from Weed Road Pictures and Berlanti Productions in association with Warner Bros. Television. A live-action Titans was originally ordered as a pilot by Warner Bros. TV sibling TNT in 2014, with Goldsman writing the adaptation alongside Mark Hames. The regime change at TNT put the project in limbo, and it ultimately did not go forward. WB-TV and DC then brought Titans under the purview of Greg Berlanti, who oversees all 4 DC WB-TV superhero drama series on the CW, as well as the CWC DC animated series Constantine. Berlanti teamed for what is a new take on the Titans characters with Goldsman and Johns, who also co-wrote the Flash pilot with Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg. There was strong interest in the project from outside, including from an SVOD provider, but Warner Bros. Opted to make the show a cornerstone of the new DC digital service. Titans marks the first live-action series in the digital space for DC Entertainment, which has 7 broadcast series on the air: Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and iZombie on the CW, and Gotham and Lucifer on Fox. The use of established titles with strong fan following, like Titans and Young Justice to jumpstart the new DC-branded service, is reminiscent of CBS's bet on a new Star Trek series and a Good Wife spin-off, The Good Fight, for its CBS All Access, as new platforms often rely on built-in awareness and name recognition to stand out in the competitive digital space. There are a couple things in that little bit that I want to talk about. First off, they got an offer from an outside service and turned them down to launch a brand new service that they don't even know people will use. I have to say, that's courageous on Warner Brothers' part, I guess. And second, that bit at the ending, comparing this to Star Trek Discovery. There's a reason I read off Akiva Goldsman's credits when I didn't for the others. This is reminding me a lot of Star Trek Discovery. And if you've been following development on Star Trek Discovery, you know, that hasn't been going very well, and I've had the exact same concerns I spelled out at the beginning about Star Trek Discovery as I do now for Titans. It's just... They're banking on a brand new service that they don't even know that people will use, or that people will continue to use after the season's over. And they're using highly popular franchises for this. I understand why. However, I don't have a whole lot of faith in all this. It's just... Star Trek Discovery just does not fill me with a lot of hope. And Titans looks like the Star Trek Discovery of 2017. In that it was announced in 2017. As opposed to Star Trek Discovery, which was not. In fact, Star Trek Discovery was supposed to have aired by now. It only just started filming like 3 months ago. Yeah. Look, again, there's a reason I don't normally do these unscripted things. Who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised, and the service does incredibly well. But as of right now, I'm just not sold. And trust me, I would love to be wrong about all of this. I am a huge Titans fan. I haven't been following the current series. I just bought the trade the other day. I actually haven't gotten a chance to read that yet. Busy. But I'm a huge Titans fan. I would love to see a live-action, hour-long drama based on the Wolfman Perez run from the 80s. That would be great. And judging by the lineup that they've announced so far with Dick Grayson, Starfire, Raven, and I believe Jeff Johns hinted at using Beast Boy, they are clearly going for the Wolfman Perez stuff. And that sounds great. Especially with Greg Berlanti behind the wheel. That sounds like a great idea. But it's the platform that worries me. Everything else about this sounds great. But it's a brand new platform that I'm not certain people are actually going to use. And it's probably not going to be supported in most regions. So, I mean, we'll see where it lies in a couple of years, I guess. But for now, yeah, I'm not sold.